This is Music with Mason here. A bit of an interesting one today. My very first comedian, Stephen Moeller.
Yeah, I go by Stevie Mo. Please stop using my government name.
Stevie Mo.
I like to keep my job.
Okay, I'll blurb that. I'll bleep it out.
No, you can keep it. It's fine.
Stevie Mo, how are you doing today?
Yeah, good. Thank you. I'm great, man. We're getting ready to kick off this brand new open mic series. We've done open mics here in the past at Skylark, but we've always done up in the main room. But now this is Skylark Underground, so it's in the basement. Did you get to peep it yet?
I did.
It's very cool. There's so much room. I've seen a lot of very cool shows here. And I've known Farley going back years and years and years, you know, when I used to be an underage kid getting into shows, and the way he'd let me stay at shows over at like the Redstone room was he's like, all right, come fire up the mics with me and stuff. I'm like, all right. So I would sit back there with him, and the great thing about this place, William Elliott Whitmore played, who's one of my favorite artists of all time. Yeah, he's a Iowa dude. He's very, very, very good. Nicest human being ever. I was talking to Farley, and I was like, yeah, man, dude, Rock Island, I was born and raised. I'd love to do stand-up here. And he's like, hell yeah. We went on with some shows, and it was about 3 or 4 shows in that I was talking to him. Like, man, you know, we've known each other for a long time. He's like, what? I was like, dude, I've known you for like 15 years, brother.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been fun. The main room is obviously great. There is some of the most professional sound equipment that you're ever going to have at any kind of show, because Farley's amazing what he does. You know, this is a whole recording studio, but when this basement thing came around, I was like, dude, there's going to be some crazy metal shows going on down here.
That's right.
And then there could be some underground hip hop, stand up. It's going to be bananas.
Right. It's kind of similar to like how you've ever been to Gabe's before? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how Gabe's is. They have that bottom stage, and then they have the top stage. So now,
I didn't mean to cut. The only time I've ever been to Gabe's, I saw William Elliott Whitmore there.
Yeah?
Upstairs. I've never been downstairs. You know, when I was coming up, I was 2008 to about 2011. I was working at Co-op Records in Moline, and there were so many shows I should have seen there. It's fun to go see the people that I know. Pit Lords played there a few times. Those guys rule. I don't know if you've ever talked to those guys.
I have.
Okay.
I've interviewed them.
This kind of came. This interview came pretty quick. You were like, "Hey, I'd love to interview you." I was like, "Oh, all right." I almost missed the message. Truthfully, I saw like Instagram change everything. I saw a request, and I go, "Oh, great! It's another, bot throwing their OnlyFans out there." But I saw it was you, and I kind of looked at your profile pic. I was like, dude, this dude looks like he still plays high school football. and you're wearing an AC/DC shirt, so it's like it still looks like it. But you're like, yeah, I'd like to interview. I was like, yeah, sure thing, no.
Yeah.
All good.
And here we are.
Yeah.
But I think you are close to being my 59th or 60th interview
Holy shit.
I've ever done, yeah.
I wish I was 69.
But yeah, you're actually, something else I want to mention is that you're actually the host of the Getting Strange with Freaky Mo.
Stevie Mo. Freaky Mo. All right.
Is that not what it is?
No, it's Getting Strange with Stevie Mo.
It's Stevie Mo, okay. My mistake.
All good. Little backstory on that. I just kind of refired that podcast up. My podcast journey has been bananas. I started when I was about 2011. We started one that I won't mention here because I might want to run for political office one day.
Yeah.
But then I ended up doing a bow hunting podcast, which I got to see and meet a lot of my heroes in the hunting world because I'm a big bow hunter. But I also got to meet a lot of huge country artists. You know, guys that you hear about on like the top 40 and stuff where you're like, oh man, it's just shitty country, but these dudes are some of the coolest dudes in the world. Like, Craig Morgan is probably one of the nicest guys on the planet. So nice that when I asked him, because I didn't recognize him, we're at an after party, I go, you gonna enjoy the show tonight? And he goes, yeah. Then my buddy Larry goes, you can just ask Craig if he's gonna enjoy his own show. But he's super cool, so that let me know. No matter what level of fame you get, sometimes, even if I don't enjoy your music, you might be a really cool person.
Right.
So, artist versus the music, I can kind of always look the other way.
Right.
Sometimes.
You're right.
Sometimes.
You're also one of the Stevies in the Two Fat Steves.
That was where I didn't do Getting Strange with Stevie Mo much because we were recording videos. It was me and Stevie Dearborn from Stevie's Eats right here in Davenport. And man, doing that because I love barbecuing, and that opened up a whole way of life for me. And it's funny that I've always wanted to be a musician. I tried to play, like most of my tattoos that I have on my body are music related. Like I got Parliament Funkadelic tattoo on my chest. I got a Wu-Tang tattoo, and I'm working on an MF Doom piece. But with the barbecue, I ended up meeting these guys that last month I went down to Texas. And because those guys are like big hip hop heads too, they showed me like Texas hip hop and stuff like that. And, that it opened my eyes that, yeah, you can connect on a lot of levels with people based on music and other interests. So if that one interest gets you, there's always going to be music that can still pull you in, which I thought was funny when you asked me about this. And, I was tickled, so I'm like, yeah, I'm great with it. I mean, there's not a genre of music that I don't like.
Right. And something about that show is something called, I saw the Dino Burger.
Oh, shit.
Well, at first when I heard the name, I was like, it's going to be a really big burger. But then I saw it was Dino Nuggets. So what got you to make this creation?
Yeah, I was going to say, that was, there's a specific plant that when it grows and it dries, and if it gets heated up, it can give you ideas like that. That's
where they're not gonna release that, but there's something out there.
Yeah, it's it was one of those. Where do we want to go with this? Because everybody's kind of doing the same thing, and this is I assume this is how musicians do too. We want to put something out there that nobody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was putting Dino Nuggets on burgers with mashed potatoes? You did your research. God damn it, dude. I mean, what did you do? You just sat at home and you just like watched me for a couple hours?
Yeah.
Damn. And
there's more.
No wonder that freaky Mo. All right. Damn, dude. You're the Nardwar of the Quad Cities.
I get that quite a lot. Almost every other time I interview someone now.
I like that.
But did your uncle inspire you to do stand-up?
Okay, yeah, you are the Nardwar. Yeah, so my Uncle Louie, he did stand up way back in the day, and he used to open for one of the most famous comics that came out of this area was Tammy Pescatelli, and he would open for her quite a bit, and she is one of the nicest human beings on the planet. I was actually on her show. I think it was on Women's Entertainment, WeTV. They filmed a show, and my uncle got to open for, I think I was 20, and I always wanted to do stand-up, and I remember I was like, they're like, ask a question. I'm sure it's out there, and I go, hey, how do you get into doing stand-up comedy? To which she goes, just hit open mics, and this dude tapped me on the shoulder, and he's one of the he runs a venue around here. He goes, come back and do this. So I waited till I was 21, and yeah, shit. I can't remember when exactly that was, but yeah, I went up there, I recorded, and this was back in the day when you would record on like a mini disc, and that got burned. There was no way. That set was awful. Probably not my worst set that I've ever done.
Yeah.
I think I still got a couple of really bad sets ahead of me to do that, but it got my interest peaked, and here I am now 14 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were recently, I wouldn't say recently, but you did a roast battle, and you lost to someone named Boris. But you did win a few rounds.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Where did you get this information that I lost to Boris? Do you know who Boris is?
No.
Boris is a very, very, very funny cat. I actually hope he's here tonight. He now does Flyover Picture States. When that roast battle came up, I looked at who I was up against, and I just was like, I'm not winning this, because I know him. We'll call him Boris, because that was his when he was a pro wrestling referee and wrestler. we'll keep kayfabe alive, brother. I'm a big pro wrestling fan. I'm sure you found that out. I knew I wasn't getting past the first round when he said, instead of 5 nights at Freddy's, Stevie, it looks like you spend 5 nights at Denny's. I knew right then. I'm like, I knew it was over. I knew it was done. It was.
Yeah.
There was no way I was coming back from that, which I knew. I knew something like that was coming. So but I fought a valiant fight, and that was a very fun roast battle, man.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine, rest in peace. Goddamn. I'm not going to try and get emotional here, but he's not going to be here. Rest in peace, Ed Lammers. He was on that show, and me and him had a falling out for years and years, but we rekindled, and we were going to do another roast, and I think about a month before that roast, we lost him. So, it does say, the people that will say the worst things about you, you miss the most. But yeah, no, I got crushed in that roast battle. Yeah,
dude, the Five Nights at Freddy's reference.
It was fantastic.
It sealed the deal.
I knew, and that was like 3 jokes in. I'm like, yeah, well, this is over.
Right.
I started grasping at straws.
Do you remember the Sandlot comedy show at the Broken Saddle?
Yes, I do. Were you there?
No.
The Sandlot comedy. Oh, yeah, it was me. Oh, damn. Who else was on that show?
Ronnie
Shute was on there.
James Draper.
Yep.
Andy McGraw.
Andy McGraw played a untuned guitar for a couple minutes. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have that set recorded. I felt like I had fun with that.
Yeah?
Because I ended up doing that. That was like one weird weekend where I ended up doing 3 shows right in a row. I do remember that. You have a date on that, don't you?
I don't. I wish I did.
All right. So what? You just like creep my Facebook and just grab Spark Notes?
Well, there is another thing that I found really interesting. I don't know if you want to keep this in, but did you get spanked at a burlesque?
At a burlesque show, I've been spanked. I've been choke slammed through a table. I broke someone's tooth. I broke someone's hand. I got spanked at Steve Jennings' birthday. Man, that was around April, because I knew I was flying out to Alabama to go turkey hunting like a couple days after that, and I remember sitting on a plane just like, my ass cheek was like just bruised. But yeah, Steve turned 33, 34, so there's 30 slaps, and he's like, Steve, you have to take a few. I'm like, all right. And the lady whose hand I broke, which Lady Sativa, when I broke her hand, she made sure that, and she, I don't want to say her age, but I'm pretty sure she's in her 60s. She made me continue to have her non-broke hand filled with her Baileys, and I had to kiss her on the lips that night as my penance to make up for her. But she did end up giving me a few whacks, and she didn't hold back because they had an actual paddle. I'll show you a picture out off air of the of the bruise.
We're not showing it.
Not here.
Sorry.
Oh no, not here.
So, in your opinion, this is just like a generic question, but you've had a lot of time trying different restaurants all across the nation, like in Texas and Alabama and in the southern region and here in the Midwest. Could you list some of the best restaurants you've been to when it comes to brisket?
Okay, brisket. Actually, we're in the hat. Zavala's. Zavala's was the first place I went to. That's in Grand Prairie, Texas. When I made my Texas trip, I knew I was going to stop there. My boy Joe, shout out JoJo for watching.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the pit masters there. He'd always done his like ribs and stuff, and he was actually on a Getting Strange episode. I knew I was going down there for good brisket. And I ended up hitting quite a few places, but what shocked me the most, it wasn't brisket, was a smoked turkey.
Yeah?
Now, this is going to sound weird. The brisket was obviously amazing. Zavala's is the first place I hit. Hutardo's was pretty good. Terry Black's in downtown Dallas was awesome. If you can ever go downtown Dallas, they were telling me they got a crazy music scene, the comedy scene. It was right next to the Dallas Comedy Club. That place was awesome. But what caught me off guard was a smoked turkey, man. I thought I had a great plate going. It was my first. I thought I did my research, and JoJo was out there. It's a whole long story that I don't want to get into, just for time's sake. But him and the other pitmaster, I ended up getting back there with them. They were looking at my plate and they were like, "All right, looks good. Where's your smoked turkey?" And I was like, "What?" It's like I thought I got everything. I got brisket, ribs, the sides. What else am I missing? So they gave me a little sliver of smoked turkey. I ate it. I was like, "Yeah, I messed up." I went 2 doors down because they had this really cool bar. It's this bar coffee shop that had like a tree in the middle of it. It's like an atrium, and then you go outside. I had a few cocktails there, and I ended up going back like an hour and a half later, and I ended up getting a whole slab of smoked turkey because it caught me way off guard.
Yeah.
But Zavala's had great brisket, Atmosphere, and great brisket. Terry Black's was very, very good. Around here, I think Cord does a pretty good job of doing what he does down Skinny's and Muscatine. Stevie Dearborn can make a killer brisket, but be on the lookout because we might have a food truck that might crush everybody.
There we go.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, the Fat Stevies,
Yeah,
that'd be the day.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah,
we're gonna get there. There's some plans in motion.
So when you were on your way to the Atlanta trip, did you end up stopping at a Buc-ee's for the first time?
It was Collinsville, Alabama.
Yeah.
I stopped in Atlanta, but yes, when I went to Buc-ee's was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to one?
I wish. I've heard rumors and I've seen the TikToks.
If you could ever, flights to Atlanta are pretty cheap, and we've actually talked about doing this as a video. Flying down to Atlanta. You fly down like a Friday afternoon, Friday morning, or a Saturday morning. You go hit Buc-ee's, catch a red-eye back. Probably like $200, $300. Round-trip ticket. Get you a rental car, go to Buc-ee's, fly back. It'll be worth it. Because they do have a brisket sandwich there that is very, very good.
Yeah?
The Buc-ee's nuggets are awesome. I stopped at Buc-ee's quite a few times when I was down in Alabama. I didn't get to hit one when I was down in Dallas because it was like 45. It said 45 minutes north, but you get in a big city like that. Yeah, no way, dude. That 45 minutes is 4 hours and 45 minutes.
For sure. You're also friends with Cody Christian, and I saw you're wearing his shirt today.
Oh, yeah. I'm rocking Cody Christian's garb. He's a very, very good friend of mine. I met him through, I think it was a year ago, July 4th, when I was with Working Class Bowhunter podcast. He came and played the Illinois Deer and Beer Fest, and I didn't see him there, but Doug played something of his. My buddy Doug Schmidt played a song of his. I was like, oh, shit, all right. He's from, Appalachia. There's a very, very strong music scene there of some great artists. One of which, just through him finding out, he recommended me guys like me and him talk probably every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll recommend me guys like Bill Taylor and the Appalachian Heatherans, which it's mountain men feeling sad, talking about how bad drug use is down there. It's real authentic music. And then I discovered this dude who I think has my favorite EP. He released it on Friday, which I buried my aunt on Friday. But released this. It's Nathan Best. It's called Part 2. And I remember telling Cody, I'm like, yo, Cody, check out this dude's music. I'm like, I think you really like him. Plus, when I message him, because he's not very well known, he goes, hey, I see you're friends with Cody Christian. Did the same thing. He gogoes, yeah, I saw him at Healing Appalachia. He's like, I was a fan. I was like, yeah, you guys should link up. And Cody's like, yeah. The first song on his EP was called Something About the Smell, and the whole thing is something about the smell of cocaine. And Cody's like, yeah, I'm not a real cocaine guy. Like, he kind of got turned off to that. But when the EP dropped, I was like, Part 2 is going to be killer. The first song is called Nose Beer City.
Oh, God.
But I go, hey, I know you're not, but you need to listen to the rest of this because it is fantastic. And the older I get, the more I I want music to feel something. Cody does a very good job of that. Nathan Best, I think, does a very good job of that. And that's everything I look for. Like, if I can get a metal song, a hip-hop song, I'm like, something that's going to make me feel authentic, and I think he's doing a very, very good job of that right now. That's like my number one pick of best thing that's come out since 2024 so far.
Yeah,
so far. I mean, we still got a couple months, but yeah, through Cody, he starts like, kind of turning me on to that style of music, and I've gotten into a lot more bluegrass lately, just because to me, it's a very authentic feel. As I'm getting older and kind of dealing with the problems that I got to deal with, not to say that anyone else isn't going through that, because I got my buddy Travis Brown. We've put on metal shows down in Macomb, and we've had fun, but like we're both like in our mid-30s,
right.
So it's like we watch kids go in the pit, and we're like, hey, you want to get in there for one or two? Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Something else, when you mentioned that you're a big fan of wrestling, I did do some research on that. Did you give one called Manders a beer?
I sure did.
How did that, like, was it at the end of the fight, and then you just gave him a cold beer?
Manders is a very special talent. He was born in, I'm pretty sure he was born in Maryland, but he came to Iowa. He was an Iowa Hawkeye. Started training with the local wrestling program here, Black and Brave, which is Merrick Brave and Seth Rollins. They trained him. He started making a name for himself. Like, on the indie scene, that dude is huge.
Mm-hmm.
He is a beast. Absolute beast. He's got a lariat that is bananas. But he's come around. I've cooked for him a couple times. We're buddies. He likes hunting and stuff. I think he's living in Georgia somewhere, not too far away from a friend of mine who runs a fishing charter, which I was like, go on his fishing charter, because if you go there, that lake, you'll see a Squidbillies monument. Funny story, but yeah, Manders was doing it was an SCW show at a Bluegrass Community Center, and I had a beer, and he walked by, I just handed it to him. Like, we're buddies. He's a very good friend of mine. So yeah, he can drink some beer, but that's one dude that if a bar fight breaks out, you want him on your side.
Yeah,
he's a bad mofo.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm saving you on editing.
Thank you. But you also used to live with Devin, complaint department.
Oh yeah. Damn, how did you? Damn, you really went deep, didn't you?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Yeah, Devin. Me and Devin started doing stand up together. Actually, just talk. Oh, you must have listened to the podcast, didn't you? I think I talked about that with last one I dropped was with Zach Vaughn. He might be here, but yeah, me and. Oh, I don't think I said him by name on the. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. No, it can get out. But yeah, me and Devin started hanging out about. Right when I was 21, I think I was like 6 months into it, and me and him we clicked. He lived with me for a couple of years, and then, when they started opening the analogs, and it used to be the original Raccoon Motel, then turned into Devin's complaint department, and me and Devin, like, we have this love of blues and soul music, so I remember, like, he would tell me he liked blues, and I'm like, yo, you need to check out this cat, Luther Allison. And I've got to meet his kid, Bernard Allison, see him quite a few times. And it's nice going into that establishment and hearing some Luther Allison, Sam and Dave, just some really nice 70s soul. And Freddie King, he loves Freddie King. I love Freddie King, too. So we'll kind of chat back and forth. I'm like, yo, did you ever check into this dude? Again, we met through comedy. But like, I'll hear a song and that'll spark me to message him like, yo, did you hear this yet?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. What can you say about Roz Talks?
I'm not very well liked there.
Yeah.
I like Rostock's a lot. I think Ben runs a very cool establishment. I used to go there quite a bit, and then I went and did the Mike Steele open mic invitational, and I got a little fucking sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, I got a little toasty, and yeah, Ben was not a fan of mine.
Oh, okay.
But I do see that he's trying to end up buying that building because he's had a staple down there for what now? 14, 15 years. I saw the war on drugs there, which is crazy because those guys ripped. And I remember I was living with my parents at the time, so I think this is 2011, somewhere around there. And Jerome was like, "You got a place we can stay?" I go, "Do you want to hang out with my parents?" He's like, "Nah, we want to party." I'm like,
right.
But then I see Post Malone put together was it Morgan Wallen? I think Morgan Wallen put together a fest that the war on drugs is on. I'm like, what? I hadn't listened to those guys in years, and I checked them out. They're just old dudes now.
Right.
But they were a very cool band, and I got to see them there, and they blew up. But he's trying to buy that building because his landlord didn't do anything. And I think there's a Kickstarter, not a Kickstarter,
Patreon?
not a Patreon. No, what's the GoFundMe?
Oh,
There's
okay.
a GoFundMe so that they can buy the building, and then they got to do some updates. And man, it's a Rock Island staple. Man, it's in an area where there's not a whole lot of development, but there is a thriving business that really needs to be there, and they cater to the arts. So whether Ben likes me or not, I still love you.
Yeah.
I understand why you don't, but I do want that place to continue to thrive. And I know some people have taken first dates on there, and it's a great place. Have you ever been there?
No, I should though.
Go peep it, and if you can donate, I think you should, because
Okay.
keeping the arts alive in this area. I wanted to move to Dallas because I wanted to pursue stand up, barbecue, but when I left there, I was like, I don't want to leave my home. So like a place like Skylark here, Rostock's, they're all just trying to keep the arts alive in my hometown.
Right.
So I'm always gonna try to fight for keeping the arts, keeping music, anything alive.
We have a few more questions for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, I don't care.
Because, but
I'm gonna crack another Pabst. Is that all right?
yeah, go ahead. You also mentioned that you listen to MF Doom.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get into MF Doom? And also, MF Doom has the 20th anniversary album for one of his old albums, right?
Food's coming out. I think it's the 25th anniversary. Oh, good lord. Oh, that's... Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. I gotta message you back. Yeah, I got hip to MF Doom when I started working at Co-op, man. I was a punk kid. We would just listen to like Gucci Mane and ride around. And this used to be my buddy. Used to live like 2 blocks away over here, and we would just listen to whatever was like popular rap at the time. Then I got there, and they were like, I got introduced to Wu-Tang. I'm like, all right. And I got the 36 Chambers, and that album changed my life. And then I got hip to De La Soul, and then from there, as soon as I heard those two, my mind was open. I'm like, all right, what's next? I got a copy of Operation Doomsday.
Yeah.
I actually listened to that album today.
Yep.
And I just saw that he's got a documentary about his life. I was trying to read the article, but it's getting released soon, so it's like a full-fledged documentary. The cat was very interesting. The way that he rhymed, and the way he would just put words together, he still surprises me to this day. Because you hear some stuff, and then you look at Operation Doomsday and realize not only was he spitting some of the most ridiculous bars out there, he produced that whole thing. And you look at like Joey Badass, his first album, MF Doom produced a couple tracks on it. So there's some albums that MF Doom was just producing tracks.
Right.
And yeah, that's why on Friday I'm getting like a jack-o'-lantern with the mask in it. Just as a tribute, because he did die on Halloween of 2020, which nobody found out until January. But he his music touched a lot of people. There was I think there was like a indie band on SNL that paid tribute to him, if I'm not mistaken.
I could not tell you. But...
I think I remember seeing something about that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But this dude was just, when you were so good at your art that it doesn't matter if you're a fan of that genre, that you can appreciate it. That's what MF Doom was. I've been a fan of his since I was 21, 22, and there's still some things that I'll go listen to off, Doomsday or, hell, even Born Like This. Born Like This was the first of his CDs that came out while I was still conscious about him, and I remember that because the cool thing about it, the CD had like a cork holder in there, and the 25th anniversary, there is one track that Madlib redid, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, so you can go find it.
Yep.
And love it like I did, because I saw that pop up. I go, ooh, heard that one. This is nice.
Nice. So, I don't know if you remember this, but there's something called Kill Cliff.
Oh, yeah.
What is Kill Cliff?
That was an energy drink that when we were still with WCB, good buddy of mine, Baker, he, I think he was part owner, and I think him, and then he had some Navy SEALs started that, and we used to get a bunch of it. It was like an energy drink. Baker now, what does he do? I think he does like relationship development. I know he works with Black Rifle Coffee a lot. A couple other brands, but since they ended up selling that, now Killcliff has got the Joe Rogan drink, but they were they were an energy drink catered to CrossFit. Clearly, I'm the demographic,
right?
But we had a few cases, and it was cool. It was nice. Yeah, damn, that brought back some memories. That would have been 8-9 years ago.
Yeah. Did you own a turtle?
Yeah, I still have that turtle.
What's its name?
Tony the Meatball, but his Christian name is just Meatball.
Tony the Meatball?
Tony the Meatball rules. I remember when we first got that turtle. That was with a lady. She got him, and then we broke up, and she left me with him. He crushes minnows. Like it's like watching that turtle eat minnows. I'm glad turtles aren't larger than they are, because we'd be done.
Yeah,
we'd be done.
They were probably a lot bigger back in the like prehistoric times, but
yeah.
Well,
if you believe in dinosaurs, do you?
Do you?
I mean, what, dinosaurs lived on a round Earth too?
Maybe. Well, if turtles used to be really big, it could be possible. You never know.
Hey,
maybe on another planet they exist.
I'm a big fan of so like the audiobooks I listen to. I've been listening to 12th Planet. I'm between that and the Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, because when I'm at work, I love listening to music, but now also I'm like, if I'm here working 8 hours a day doing the same mindless task, I might as well just try to expand my knowledge.
Right.
Or if I'm not expanding my knowledge, why don't we just, rather than listen to the new Tyler, the Creator album, why don't we listen to why we think Christianity was started because of psilocybin, essentially.
Hey, man, you might be right.
Yeah.
But you never know. So what is the future for Steve Mo? Are we going to be seeing you tour more? Are you going to be working on new projects maybe? The podcast, the show, Two Fat Steves? What are we seeing?
We're going to see some more Two Fat Steves content coming out with the show kicking off, which... Yeah, we got 10 minutes till it kicks off.
we got 2 minutes. We got 2 more questions.
Yeah. Just see me a lot. Like, I'm in a very good spot mentally. Physically, I'd like to be in a little better spot, but mentally, I'm very good. So yeah, we'll probably see a lot more Too Fat Steves, Getting Strange. Be on the lookout for the summer. Maybe a food truck is
On the way.
Yeah, on the way. Yeah.
All right. And my second question for you is, what would you tell the young comedians and performers who want to be able to have the confidence and just practice their jokes and be on stage and do what they like?
It's anything like talking to somebody you're interested in. Don't be afraid of no. Don't be afraid of being yourself. You might think, but don't ever think that you're too weird, too out there. Be yourself and love every minute of it. Sometimes it can be, taxing on you, but don't worry about all that. Always be yourself. Do what you love, and give me $10. No, I'm kidding. No, just get out there and do it. Do as many mics as you can. Do everything you can to make yourself feel better, but also don't just try to hurt people's feelings because you're like, oh, this is funny. Just go out there, go have a good time, do what you do, be the best at what you do.
Good words. Those should be put down in a quote somewhere. Someone should tattoo that. But, of course, Steve Mo, thank you so much for being with me tonight. We hope you have a great show.
Yeah.
And before we send you off, where can we find you on social media?
I'm at Stevie_Mo89 on Instagram. I think it's my government name, which you already said.
Yep.
On Facebook. Too Fat Steves on YouTube. Instagram. Getting Strange with Stevie Mo's on Instagram. I've got too many social media pages.
Yeah.
But yeah, just Google my name. You can see my picture on the Dubuque County mugshot website.
And of course, we will leave some of these in the description below.
Yes.
But thank you, Steve Mo.
Hey,
this was amazing, and we will see you in the next interview.